A viewer booked a $1,200 heater core job. Before the appointment, he tried our 3 free checks. His scan showed P0128, his upper hose was cool after shutdown, and after a proper bleed, his heat blasted like new. No heater core, no shop bill. Today I'll walk you through that exact path. The code, the tactile test, and the bleed. You'll also hear the bonus tip that prevents up to 40% of engine failures. If your thermostat is the silent killer, we'll catch it in minutes and you'll keep your cash. Before we move on, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and like the video. Your dash can look perfectly normal, but a cheap scanner can already be pointing at the problem. Plug in, read the codes, and if you see P0128, that's your first free win. That code means the coolant isn't reaching the thermostat's regulating temperature. In plain terms, the thermostat is likely stuck open, so the engine stays too cool. When the engine runs cool, the heater core never gets the hot coolant it needs and you get weak, lukewarm air, no matter how high you set the fan. Here's why this matters. A lot of drivers shrug off P0128 because the car still starts, idles, and drives. No flashing lights, no drama. Meanwhile, some shops chase the wrong part and talk heater core removal, which is hours of labor and a large bill. When P0128 is present, you start with the thermostat. It's a low-cost part, easy to reach on many engines, and it directly controls the temperature the system can hold. Think about how often this shows up in winter. Older cars or high-mileage daily drivers see P0128 right after a cold snap. You can drive 20 minutes and never see the temp needle reach its normal spot. The cabin stays chilly because the coolant keeps bleeding its heat away instead of soaking the heater core. People assume the blower motor is weak or the blend door is broken, but the root cause is the engine never got hot in the first place. A stuck-open thermostat allows coolant to flow through the radiator before the engine has warmed up. The radiator is a heat dump, so all that warmth you need in the cabin gets thrown to the air outside the car. Without a proper warm-up plateau, the coolant returns to the engine too cool, and the heater core remains underfed with heat. It's a steady-state problem, not a momentary glitch. Your system keeps losing heat as fast as it tries to make it. It's like trying to boil water with the lid off in a windy room. No matter how long you wait, the heat slips away before the temperature climbs. Engines are designed to hit and hold a precise operating temperature. The thermostat is the gatekeeper. When the gate never closes, you never build pressure in the heat bank, and the cabin pays the price. Here's a number that surprises people. A large share of weak heat complaints trace back to thermostats. P0128 appears frequently in those cases, and it's the breadcrumb that points straight at the stuck-open condition. It isn't a rare, oddball failure. It's common, especially on vehicles that see short trips. Lots of cold starts, or cooling systems filled with old coolant that's been overdue for service. Scan results clean? You're not done. Some ECUs won't flag P0128 right away, or they need multiple drive cycles to light the code. That's why the next step is simple and free. You can confirm the thermostat story with a quick hand check right after shutdown. We'll use the upper radiator hose as the tell, and it takes only seconds. If your scan shows P0128 today, set aside the heater core rabbit hole and move the thermostat to the top of your list. The part costs a fraction of a heater core, and the labor is lighter on most engines. Replacing it restores the engine's ability to reach and hold normal temperature, which often brings your heater output back to where it should be. Don't let a quiet dash fool you. The ECU's whisper is the clue you need. Now, if the ECU keeps quiet, the hose will tell the truth next. No scanner? No problem. You can confirm the same suspect with a 5-second check that costs nothing. When you park after a normal drive, shut the engine off and pop the hood. Your hand can diagnose the part that steals your heat. The test is simple, fast, and brutally honest about what's happening inside the cooling system, even when the dash shows nothing and the ECU hasn't complained yet. Right after shutdown, find the upper radiator hose, the large hose at the top of the radiator that runs back to the engine, and carefully touch it. If the engine should be hot but that hose feels cool, the thermostat likely stuck open. That single clue says the system is dumping heat to the radiator before the engine ever gets a chance to hold it. You don't need fancy graphs or live data to read that sign. A cool hose after a warm drive tells the story. Here's where many people get tripped up. They expect a hot hose to mean good heat and a cool hose to mean the system is fine. It's the opposite in this case. A cool upper hose, right after a drive that should have brought everything to temperature, points to a thermostat that never let the engine retain heat. The engine didn't build the stable temperature your heater core needs, so the air in the cabin stays weak no matter how high you turn the fan. Be smart about safety. Perform this check only after the engine is off. Keep clear of spinning fans, belts, and anything that can move unexpectedly. Parts under the hood can be extremely hot, so approach the hose slowly and test with the back of your fingers first. If you can't safely reach it, let the car cool and try again later. Walk through a common scenario. You drive 15 minutes, heater on high, and the cabin never gets more than lukewarm. You park, shut it down, and carefully reach for the upper hose. It's cool to the touch. That's classic stuck-open behavior. The thermostat allowed coolant to circulate to the radiator from the start, bleeding away the heat the engine needed to build. Your heater core never got fed with truly hot coolant, so the vents could only manage tepid air. This comes down to coolant flow paths. In a healthy system, the thermostat stays closed during warm-up, trapping coolant in the engine so temperature rises quickly. Once it reaches the target, the thermostat opens and sends hot coolant through the upper hose to the radiator. If the thermostat is stuck open, that routing happens too early and never stops. Heat shoots to the radiator, gets shed to the outside air, and returns to the engine too cool. With no stable operating temperature, the heater core can't saturate with heat, so your cabin output stays weak. It's like opening windows while trying to heat your house. The heat never builds. You keep pouring energy into the system, but the warmth escapes faster than you can store it. The result is a steady, stubborn lukewarm that doesn't change no matter how long you drive. Now that you've confirmed the suspect, there's one more twist. Even if you install a fresh thermostat, one skip step can still wreck your heat and risk your engine. Air trapped in the cooling system blocks flow, creates hot spots, and makes the heater go cold at idle.